Hey there, everybody. Today's video is on the 10 best Salt Lake City, Utah suburbs for families. So is Salt Lake City a good place to live with kids? Well, I did a quick Google search, found ABC4 News here said Salt Lake City is ranked the 6th most kid-friendly city in the US, so I would say that's a yes. So I'm going to go over the 10 best cities here, and I'm getting started right now. Welcome back, or welcome to the Living in Salt Lake City channel. I'm Greg Spackman, and I'm your local real estate agent here. So if you're thinking about making that move to the Salt Lake City area, please reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. The number one place on the list, and this is not from me, this was gathered from online, is Highland. So I'm going to open up the map, show you where Highland is located, and then talk about the home prices there, and I'm going to give you the rankings. All right, so here I have Highland open on the map. It's highlighted in red, so it's south of Salt Lake City on I-15, north of Provo, and it says Highland is in Utah County, so it's this area here in red. It's right next door to Lehigh and American Fork. So if you happen to work there at one of these big corporations there in the Silicon Slopes place, that makes Highland amazing. So now let's show you the pricing and the housing. All right, so I have my website, thespackmangroup.com, open here. Did a search for Highland, Utah, and I sorted by newest. And then you can see there are 52 homes currently for sale. And then this one here is 975, 1.1, 769, 669, 2.2, 644, 850, 589, 1.7, 1.4. So you're going to see a wide range of pricing anywhere from the high sixes to about $3 or $4 million. And that range just depends on which subdivision you pick, whether it's new construction, how large the home is, how many bedrooms. Like, look at this huge home, 8 bedrooms, 4 baths, 4,800 square foot. So if you have a large family, you can definitely find enough bedrooms for them here in Highland. I got niche.com loaded here to go over the rankings with you. Highland is the number 1 best suburb to live in Utah. It's got an A for the overall ranking, A for public schools, B for housing, A plus good for families, A for jobs, C minus cost of living, A for outdoors. Outdoors, you got American Fork Canyon that's right there in Highland, which is awesome. B minus nightlife, C for diversity, B for weather, A plus for health and fitness, and B plus for commute. Some other rankings: best suburb to live in Utah, number 1. Best suburb to raise a family in Utah, number 1. Best place to raise a family in Utah, number 2. So as you can see, that's why it was rated the number 1 place, was right there. Number 2 city on the list is Kaysville. And Kaysville is somewhere where we almost moved. That's where my wife's brother-in-law happens to live, and her dad lived at the time. And so we almost moved to be near them up in Kaysville. However, where my wife works is down in Riverton. So the commute from Kaysville to Riverton, we didn't want to have her do a 45-minute drive every day for work. So that ruled Kaysville out for us. However, all right, so let me show you where Kaysville is on the map right now. Then we'll go into the housing prices and then the rankings. All right, so here's Kaysville on the map, highlighted in red, and it's just north of Salt Lake City. So it's 15, 20 minutes. Typically, sometimes it can be 40 minutes if there's a lot of traffic. But you got Farmington and Centerville that are on the way to it. But it's right here. One cool thing that we've been to in Kaysville is the Boondocks, which is right here. They have this really cool mill that you get to see off the freeway when you're driving by. So just know that that's like a landmark to let you know where Kaysville is. But so that's Kaysville. It's just south of the air base. And it's in a really good location, I guess, as far as where you want to be. If you don't want to be in the Salt Lake City, the Valley area, and you want to be north, it's one of the best cities to pick north. But that's why it's number 2 on the list. All right, so here we have the website open for homes. It's got 60 homes for sale currently in Kaysville, running anywhere. There's the 550 for our low mark, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,100 square feet. So it's definitely got affordable homes that you can pick from. Here's a $1.7 million new construction home, was in the parade of homes $500,000 for a 4.4, $2.3 million. So Kaysville is going to have pricing all over. Here's a mobile home. Here's a 4.3 new construction home, 844, 729. So Kaysville has pricing kind of all over the board there. Here's our niche.com rankings. A overall, the number one best suburb to buy a house in Utah. Well, you could see by the home prices, 5, 6, 700,000 gets you a really nice home in Kaysville. A for public schools, B crime and safety, B minus nightlife, B minus diversity, B weather, A plus health and fitness, B plus commute, A minus housing, A good for families, A for jobs, C for cost of living, and A for outdoor activities. Some other rankings. Best suburb to buy a house, number 1. Best suburb to live in Utah, number 2. Best suburb to raise a family, number 2. And then here's our crime and safety that you can look at. So that covers Kaysville for you. Kaysville is a great place. We spend time up at my wife's brother's house up there. So I've definitely been there a number of times, shown property there. It's a great city. It has good parts and bad parts of it. I typically like the west side of 15, but there's some cool stuff on the east side as well. It's just something we'll have to check out and talk about. The number 3 best Salt Lake City, Utah suburb for family is Cedar Hills. So let's show you where that is on the map. All right, so here Cedar Hills is on the map. It's right next door to Highland, which is why it has such high rankings. But it's right here, so it's even closer to the mountains. Alpine would be its northern cousin. But it is awesome. It's also in Utah County as well. And so you can see where it is here. You can see the Salt Lake City is up to the north, and then Provo is down to the south. So it's in a great location as well, and it's close to go out to American Fork Canyon, out to Sundance and all of that, and then out to Deer Creek Reservoir. All right, so here is the pricing of homes on my website. Again, the spackmangroup.com. And they got 11 homes right now in Cedar Hills for sale from $599, $595, all the way up to $1.8 million, 10 bedroom, holy cow, 6 bath, 7,700 square foot home. So if you need a lot of bedrooms, once again, you can get that in Cedar Hills as well. All right, here we have the rankings open again from niche.com. Number 3 best suburb to live in Utah. We have an A rating again, A for public schools, B plus housing, A good for families, A for jobs, C cost of living, A for outdoor activities, C plus nightlife, B for diversity, B plus for weather, A plus health and fitness, and B for commute. So it has great rankings, but all of these are going to have good rankings. Number 3 best suburb to live in Utah, number 3 best suburb to raise a family in Utah, and the best place to raise a family in Utah, number 5. I have nothing but good things to say about Cedar Hills. It's great. I love the fact that it's this close to American Fork Canyon for you to be able to go. I take my Jeep out American Fork Canyon at least once or twice a year. They have a cool place called the Rock Garden where we'll take it over some boulders and stuff. It's awesome. So that's number 3 on the list, Cedar Hills. The number 4 best place to raise a family in Utah is Fruit Heights. So let's show you where Fruit Heights is now. All right, so we have the map open here. Fruit Heights is highlighted here in red. As you can see, it is north of Salt Lake City. So it is right next door to Kaysville. So basically it's Kaysville, but just up against the mountains. And that's why it's got such good rankings. It has its own golf course, as you can see here on the map, but it doesn't have a lot to it. It just is a good little community. So let's show you the home prices. I already had that pulled up for you. Newest, sorted by newest. Again, $579. Here's a 7 bedroom, 7 bath, $3 million home. As you can see, $750. So prices in Fruit Heights is going to be more than Kaysville. So your dollar is going to stretch better in Kaysville than Fruit Heights. It just is going to depend on if you want to be up against the mountains. So it'll be a little cooler. It'll get a little bit more snow than Kaysville will, and it's got some nicer home options than Kaysville does. But that's why Fruit Heights is a little bit higher priced. Here are the rankings. Fruit Heights is the number 4 best suburb to raise a family in Utah. It's got an A rating as well. A for public schools, B for housing, A for good for families, A for jobs, C minus cost of living, A for outdoor activities, C for nightlife, C plus diversity, B weather, A health and fitness, and B plus for commute. Other rankings, suburbs with the best public schools is number 3. Best suburb to raise a family, number 4. Places with the best public schools is number 5. So as you can see, according to their rankings, they have the public schools rated really, really high in Fruit Heights. So that also makes a difference in the home values. And so that covers Fruit Heights. The number 5 best place to raise a family, best suburb in Salt Lake City for families is Farmington, is where I first stayed when we came out to visit a few years ago before we moved out here. And so here's where Farmington is on the map. Farmington is highlighted here in red, kind of in the center part of the map. And so it is just north of Salt Lake City. Centerville would be one of the closest cities, then Farmington, then Kaysville, and Fruit Heights. So it's a little bit bigger city. It has this really cool shopping center that's right here where they have a mall, like an outdoor mall area for a ton of different shops. It's got the Best Buy in there. And it used to have this cool place called the Baked Bear where you could get cookies with ice cream cookies. But there's a Cinemark movie theater in here. And then, as you can see, a bunch of different places for you to shop. And that's one of the big things about Farmington has over Kaysville is just this shopping center here that you have. And then across the way, you have the Lagoon Amusement Park, which is cool as well. It's got some roller coasters and that sort of thing to ride. And my son went there for school, and they have all the schools go there for their 9th grade end of the year party. Your kids will get to go there if you have children. Home prices, there's 37 homes for sale in Farmington right now. You got a $1.3 million place, a $650, $550, $550, $510, $4 million. So as you can see, it's a little bit more, not as expensive as Fruit Heights, though you can spend as much in Farmington as you can in Fruit Heights. But that's one of the draws. Area a little closer to Salt Lake City, so your commute's a little bit better than if you were in Kaysville or Fruit Heights. Our rankings for Farmington, number 5 best suburb to raise a family. Overall, it's got an A for public schools, B for housing, A good for families, A for jobs, C for cost of living, A for outdoor activities, B crime and safety, B minus nightlife, B minus diversity, B weather, A for health and fitness, and B plus for commute. Other rankings, number 4, best suburb with public schools, the best suburb to raise a family, number 5, best suburb to live in Utah, number 7. And so that covers Farmington. Number 6 on the list is Bountiful, and Bountiful actually has a Mormon temple in it, so that's cool. And let's cover where Bountiful is on the map. All right, so here is Bountiful on the map, highlighted in red. Once again, it is also north of Salt Lake City. It is right next to Centerville and then just south of Farmington. And as I mentioned, it had a Mormon temple that we've driven by. We actually looked at a home up here on the hill before we ended up where we are, but we looked for homes in this area as well. It has a great golf course here called the Bountiful Ridge Golf Course. So if you're into golf, you got that. There's a park and picnic area. Bountiful is a great city as well, since it's one of the closest ones that you're going to get to Salt Lake City and still have this high of rankings. Let's show you the home values. There are 56 homes currently for sale in Bountiful. You know, $495, a 6-bedroom, 7-bath. This is a foreclosure, so let's not count that. $549 for that one. $999, $749, $390, $375. As you can see going down the list, they do have some condos and townhomes in here, so some of the other cities didn't have those. $550, $600, and then you're going to see that pricing in Bountiful is going to be a little bit more expensive than some of the other cities, and that's going to be based on how close it is to Salt Lake City, and then it also depends on how new and nice the home is. So this $2.5 million home is probably really, really amazing. Here are our rankings for Bountiful. According to niche.com again, number 4 best suburb to live in Utah. It's got an A rating. A for public schools, B plus housing, A good for families, A for jobs, C cost of living, and A for outdoor activities. Then B for crime and safety, B nightlife, B diversity, B weather, A plus health and fitness, and A minus commute. Commute should be like A plus because what place is closer that you're going to live in? Other ranking, best suburb to live in Utah, number 4. Best suburb for young professional, number 5. Best suburb to raise a family in, number 6. And then here's your crime and safety for Bountiful. So that covers Bountiful. Next up on your list is another one of my favorite ones, and that's Alpine. And Alpine is in Utah County. Again, it's south. It's right next to Highland. And let's show you where that is on the map. All right, so Salt Lake City is up here to the north. Alpine is right here in red. And then south of you again is Provo. So Alpine would be right next door to Lehigh and American Fork. So if you worked if you worked in the Silicon Slopes area, Alpine would be one of my number 1 choices for you to pick. Alpine or Highland just depends on your budget and what you're looking for. But because it's right at American Fork Canyon, all of the hiking, camping, fishing, everything that you can do out American Fork Canyon is awesome. And it's in a great spot as far as everything goes. Its con would just be the cost of housing there. But let's show you that now. Here's home prices, 1.6, 2.7, 8.2, which we haven't seen one that high priced out of any of the cities so far. 6.19, 3.2, 2.5. So you're going to be spending $700 plus to live in Alpine. Most likely you're going to be in the $1 to $2 million range to be in Alpine to get something really, really nice. Just depends on your budget, but Alpine is a great place to live, especially if you work in the Lehigh area around that, one of those corporations. You're going to want to live in Alpine. The number 3 best place to live in Utah County. Alpine again has an A. It would be an A plus in my book if I could give it that. It's just housing costs would would lower that to an A, and I'm guessing that's what they did because they have a B minus for housing. A for public schools, B minus housing, A good for families, A for jobs, C minus cost of living, A for outdoor activities. Really, it's an A plus. B minus nightlife. They don't have crime and safety listed at all, and that I haven't heard of much of crime at all in Alpine. C plus for diversity, B for weather, A plus for health and fitness, and B minus for commute. I guess the weather thing would be that it gets a little more snow because it's against the mountains. Other rankings, suburb with the best public schools, number 6. Best suburb to raise a family, number 7. Best suburb to live in Utah, number 11. And so if you can afford to live in Alpine, then let's take a look at Alpine. Put that on your list as one of the cities to check out when you're here. The number 8 best place is Centerville. So Centerville, as you know, is going to be up north. And let's show you where that is on the map now. All right, so here's Centerville. It's highlighted here in red, just north of Salt Lake City. It's just north of Bountiful, so it's Bountiful's neighbor. It's right in between, so it goes Bountiful, then Centerville, then Farmington. So Centerville is another great option to pick if you want to live up in the north side of Salt Lake City. So let's look at home prices. $659. Here's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo. $225, $690, $575, $515. Oh, look at this one. 1.5, $625, $775. So as you can see, it's a little bit less expensive than some of the other cities that are up there. It looks like you can get a nice affordable home in the $500 to $700 mark range. And now let's look at its rankings. It's the number 2 best suburb to buy a house in Utah. Overall, it's got an A, which I would agree is one of the best suburbs as far as pricing goes. A for public schools, A minus housing, A good for families, A for jobs, C cost of living. All of them have been C cost of living, I think. A for outdoor activities, B for crime and safety, C plus nightlife. Really, nightlife should be higher since you're so close to Salt Lake. B for diversity, B weather, A plus health and fitness, and A minus for commute. Other ranking, best suburb to buy a house in Utah, number 2. Best place to retire in Utah, number 4. And best suburb with the best public schools, number 5. And here's the crime and safety for you to look at. And so that covers Centerville. And Centerville is a great area because of where it's located, and just your dollar stretches a lot further in Centerville than it does in other areas. Definitely is one that you should drive through, check out the different neighborhoods and that sort of thing. The number 9 best suburb for families is Holiday. So let's show you where Holiday is now. All right, so you can see Salt Lake City here to the north. Holiday is right here up against the mountains. It's in a great spot as far as where it is if you work in downtown Salt Lake City but don't want to live in Salt Lake City. It's got a number of different areas here. Got a cool golf course here, the Old Mill Golf Course. You're right here to head out to the canyons to go snow skiing, snowboarding out to Solitude and Brighton, or you can head out Interstate 80 and get out to Park City and Deer Valley. So that's that. Let's show you home prices. 719, 665, 819, 629, 699. Well, this kind of gives you an idea of the prices here in Holiday. $2.5 million for that one. Here are the rankings. Number 5 best place to retire in Utah. Overall, an A ranking. B+ public schools, B- housing, A good for families, A- jobs, C- cost of living. A for outdoor activities, B nightlife, B diversity, B- weather, A+ health and fitness, and A for commute. Best place to retire, number 5. Best suburb to live in Utah, number 8. And best suburb to raise a family in Utah, number 9. So my one negative would be about Holiday would just be the home styles are older. So if you're cool with the older style homes, then that is awesome. There aren't that many new construction homes. Holiday is going to be built out again like Sandy is. So just know that as far as the city goes, what traffic you get is pretty much what traffic you're going to get. So you don't have to deal with, are they going to expand and grow, and are more people going to move there? They're pretty much set on the city's size and location. So that covers Holiday. Next up on the list for the best city to live in Salt Lake City area for suburbs for families would be Mill Creek. So let's show you where that's located right now. So Mill Creek is highlighted here in red. It's south of Salt Lake City. And so it is one of the closest cities that you're going to get. It's located right off I-80. So it's going to be super close to get out to Park City. Probably the fastest city that you can live in, not in Park City, that is a big city. So that's where Mill Creek's located. Now let's talk about home prices. $795, $500 for a 2-2, $425, $566. So just scrolling down here, you're going to see a 3-4 townhome, $599. Here's a 4-3 home for $679. Here's some new construction homes that you can get for $1.8 million, $2.75 million. This amazing home. So got a number of different home prices there in Mill Creek. Now let's look at the rankings. It's the number 5 best suburb to live in Utah. It's got an A ranking as well. A- public schools, B- housing, A good for families, B+ for jobs, C- cost of living. Does smart water really make you smart? C- cost of living, A for outdoor activities, A- nightlife, A- diversity, B- weather, A+ health and fitness, and A- for commute. Some other rankings: best suburb for young professionals in Utah, number 2. Best suburb to live in Utah, number 5. Best place to retire in, number 6. All right, so that covers number 10, Mill Creek. So if you were looking for the top 10 best cities for families to live in that are near Salt Lake City, then these are the 10 best ranked ones so far. And if I can help you in any way on any of these cities or answer any questions about them or any other cities, please reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to talk to you and help you make your move here, relocating to Utah so much nicer, as we did it 2 years ago. So I know exactly what it's like when you move to the wrong city, because we first moved to Riverton and now we're in Harriman. So I know exactly what that's like. Until next time, be rad.